many people in our audience are design students and design educators. So I'm wondering, like for a student, for example, who's in school today and they have 1 year, maybe 2 years left in their education where they can just study things, experiment, do things. What would be some really valuable skills or topics that they could invest in if in the near future they would like to either work at a place like this or start a place like this or be in this business of design?
As you mentioned in the question, to explore and to like try out new things. That's really important because it feels like it's really easy today that you educate yourself to this degree. And then you just, so I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to work with that on this company that specializes in that. And I would say it's really nice to maybe explore and try and don't be afraid. And maybe, like, as you said, you're not a graphic designer, but hey, of course you can do graphic design without an education. You just like need to maybe try it out, and maybe you learn something, and maybe you're like, oh, this is not my thing. And I think also, don't be afraid in that sense.
No,
as a beginning, and then
I agree. And for students, I would say definitely learn tools and learn many tools to design, so that the tool doesn't become what limits your kind of potential. Because I remember that as a common thing where people didn't learn certain tools, and then you only create certain objects or ideas or spaces because of you not being able to do them, basically. And I think having time to be a student, you should really learn the craft of how to design, so that you then can come up with good ideas.
And then take that skills and make, if it's physical, I mean, make it physical. I mean, graphic design is also physical. You can just print it. I mean, and then you get the feel of it, because I think that's really interesting and educational. And from our perspective now, when we've been a company for a while, we time to time get applications like for internship or a job and so on. And it's always interesting to see the ones that have done their prototypes. It's not just a sketch or a rendering. It's like it's also a physical model, even if it's from cardboard. It's like okay, they have done this and learned something.
Or
and
mock-up.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's really important to learn the tools so they don't become a limitation. But it's also really important to don't be afraid to just make it in the physical space so you can interact with it.
And I think still, even though there's all of these digital tools, one of the absolute best tools is a pen and a paper.
Oh yeah.
And like having that tool, there's no faster way of communicating an idea. And I don't see how that will change. Even though it becomes a digital pen, it won't change. So I think having the speed to be able to do, the survival of the fittest idea or whatever it would be, to be able to do many ideas and to be able to iterate, I think having that tool is of the greatest importance.
Yeah.
And explore. I mean, try out the internship at agency that does this, like graphic design, and you learn. Like you have 6 months and learn so much about graphic design and can get the experience in real projects and so on. And then maybe you go to more product design and I mean,
learn the trade.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think that's also good. It's like it feels like you educate yourself and then you should just be ready to work. And I think it's really good to learn. To practice design in the workspace.
Oh yeah.
And don't decide that you are fully learned. You will never be fully learned.
Oh yeah, I know.
There's a saying that when you're around 80, then that's when you're the best designer. That's a good good thing to know.